laudable by Sunni and Shia alike.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, what they are questioning, IS, is a modern concern about the viability of the nation-state in an increasingly globalized world, especially in a region where nationalism, before the British and the French set up these states, most ineptly and with a great deal of idiocy, really. Iraq, for example, Winston Churchill included a huge sweep of Kurdistan because there's oil there, and put together incompatible peoples.
Okay, you say these kind of political matters also influence what's happening right now.
Yes, because this is an Islamic way of expressing an unease with the nation-state.
Okay, unease with the nation-state, I understand that, but still it's hard to believe these days. We had Paris, we had Belgium, you had 9/11, Theo van Gogh, the murder of him, ISIS. You say it's politically driven
as well as religiously driven.
Okay.
The two are blended. In the pre-modern world, religion and politics, and that included, and in Europe too, was so intertwined that trying to take religion out of politics would have been like taking the gin out of the cocktail. And that still is pretty much what pertains in the Muslim world, in much of the Muslim world. And bin Laden, it must be said, in his statements, was absolutely clear about his political intentions. He might have been talking about Allah and God and Islam, but he also blamed America for supporting Saudi Arabia and for interfering in the politics of the Middle East and supporting corrupt rulers there, and Palestine. The political question of Palestine always ranked high in his statements. He was absolutely clear about this.
Yeah. You're saying this is politically driven as well as religiously. Yes. Your opponents say that in this way you are, in fact, absolving religion from its responsibility.
No, I think religion has a great responsibility to stand up against this terrorism, and as also to stand up against injustice as well. This is, as it were, bad religion. You have bad art. You have bad religion too, and this is a sheer abuse of religion. IS, in my view, are a bunch of thugs many of the people who are in their ranks are secularists.
So what you're saying is the heart of religion is about compassion and about suffering, about all those kind of things?
Religion does lots of different things.
Yes.
And because it imbued the whole of life before we separated religion, church and state, things like state building and warfare were inevitably religiously charged for everybody: Christians, Jews, Chinese, and Indians. Yeah. And that's because we're meaning-seeking creatures, and we want to inject some kind of value into anything we do. If we can't find meaning and value in our lives, we fall into despair. And many surveys, forensic psychiatrists have interviewed the terrorists who were involved in many of these lone wolf attacks, and plus the 500 people who were involved in the 9/11 attack. Mm-hmm. And they found that one of them, who is not a liberal softy like me, but a CIA officer, as well as being a psychiatrist, found that the problem was not Islam, but rather ignorance of Islam. Only 20% of these people, he said, had a typical Muslim upbringing.
So you're saying that most terrorists aren't so religious at all?
Well, two wannabe jihadis who left Britain in May to join the jihad in Syria had ordered from Amazon a book called Islam for Dummies, which kind of may indicate the level of their Islamic expertise. And many of them are converts, like the gunmen in Canada, and some are non-observant, like the Boston Marathon bombers.
Still, we like here in Holland and other European Western countries, we like to separate politics and church. Why is that so difficult in this Muslim world?
Well, for us, it was essential to our modernity.